There we go. Hello, my friend, and welcome. This is the Back to Me podcast, and I am Heather, and I am super excited that you are here. And I just want to let you know that you're going to hear some tips and some tricks, some ideas, all to help you live your happiest and healthiest life. It is called Back to Me because when you are taking care of yourself, then you can take better care of others. And my goal is to make the world a better place. This is Wellness Your Way. I am really happy that you're here. Your true self is waiting. So it is time to step up and thrive. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Back to Me podcast. And I don't know if you noticed, but I actually changed the intro recently. You may not have even noticed. If you did notice and you like it, you let me know. All right. All right. So today I am talking to Amita Sharma. Hello, Amita. So nice to meet you.
Same here. Thank you.
And you are the co-founder of NourishDoc. Is that a website or is that an app?
Well, right now it's a website, but
Okay.
we are coming out with an app, February-March timeframe by the time this airs, and focused only on women, only on mid-aged women. So
we feel like we've been ignored too long, right? We're
exactly.
Like,
I want to focus really on us now.
So, I mean, we started a brief conversation just before we came on about what you're doing and what you're working on. But what I'm always curious about is what drew you down this road? And I think that'll kind of help also introduce what you're doing down this road of what you're doing.
Yeah, most of us, when we start doing anything, always draw from our own experiences, our own encounters, so to speak. And similar thing kind of happened to me in a way that I was very happy with my corporate life here in Silicon Valley, doing all kind of amazing work. But certainly I did not know that the perimenopause started hitting me. Completely unprepared, completely unexplained, completely out of control. I became a mess. And something that I was not prepared, that in 40s, I'm going to start having all these symptoms. And I thought I'm having some medical condition and I'm going to die. It's all kind of strange things. You start thinking.
It's true.
Right? Nobody tells you that this is going to happen. And it just kept going on and on for like so many years. And to a point I could not function as a one person, and I had to really quit my full-time job and take on consulting roles so that I can do 9 to 5, right? I don't go crazy after 5. Silicon Valley has a notorious reputation of working round the clock, and if you haven't answered your email at 3 a.m. by the time you reach at 8 a.m., everyone's looking at you. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's a bit like that. Oh, I sent you an email at midnight. Didn't you see that? I'm like, what?
No, I have boundaries.
Exactly. So anyway, this whole story of perimenopause started, and it's impacted my life. I'm like, what the heck? I didn't even know the word perimenopause, to be honest with you. I knew menopause. And then fast forward 2020, I got a break. Everybody got a break at that time. I started thinking, I had a moment to pause, right? You never have a moment to pause. I said, this is something I wanted to do, holistic wellness. So even at that time, I didn't think menopause. But the more I started talking to women around the world, and they kept talking about this whole thing, oh my God, this is ignored, this. I decided, went back to my experience, what had happened to me, and I said, this is what I need to do. I really need to pay attention to a mid-aged woman, which are so ignored. We are so ignored. We are thought as reproductive machines. Excuse my language, but that's true around the world. And once we reproduce the kids and the bodies are ignored by the society, by us, we are by ourselves to be blamed by everything. And enough. We need to start dig a bit deeper.
And it's funny because I can remember when I hit perimenopause, the only thing I knew about menopause was hot flashes. They don't tell you that it actually starts way before, and that it involves way more than hot flashes.
That's right.
And I think if people even if men understood that,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
might they might be able to better handle the strange things that happen to us, right? It's not like
Yeah.
we're not doing anything maliciously. It's just stuff happens. And you don't know what you're doing. It's like reverse puberty. You don't know what's going on, and neither do they. And so you went into this holistic wellness world. So are you in Silicon Valley anymore, or are you kind of
I
you're like,
am. I'm still living there. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I went into the holistic wellness. I wanted to use my technology background, and how can I bring something like this? And I went around and realized, if any woman wants to go and meet a functional medicine doctor, as an example, or an integrative medicine doctor, they're not covered by insurance. That's number one. And then the hourly charges are horrendous. I mean, ridiculously high, $700-800 per hour, and you end up spending at least 3 to 5 grand trying to get to the root cause of what's the problem. It's so prohibitive.
and
Something good in the world is so prohibitive. Can
yeah.
you imagine that?
And I mean, it's interesting because all of those functional medicine doctors, all of those people, there's some people think it's like hocus pocus or something, but I think I think they provide a very good service. I
Hmm.
think they are really helpful. They
Yeah.
just because they aren't recognized by Western medicine, but if Western medicine isn't helping you,
Yeah.
you needed somewhere where someone can say, yeah, we can figure out what's going on and we can help you. And it's very sad for the fact that, I mean, in the US, I know there's medical insurance here, a lot of things are covered, but not anything like that.
It's very
That's
sad.
yeah.
Yeah.
And other parts of the world, I can't even imagine. I know sometimes it's even hard to find that kind of healthcare practitioner, and because it's not very well known, I think it's also hard to know which one to go to,
Hmm.
right? Who to help. So this is part of what is NourishDoc? Is this part of what this is for?
No. So what we are trying to do is we're trying to go step by step, right? So first of all, women need to be, they have the right to the right knowledge,
Hmm.
basic things. What is going to happen to their bodies? You know, what to expect and what to do on a daily basis to start taking care of yourself, as well as simple things like changing your diet, movement, all that stuff, right? Your sleep, your stress. These are simple things. So that's what we are trying. We're starting with the ground zero. We're trying to educate them. Hey, menopause, perimenopause is not only hot flashes, it is involves everything, your relationships included, like you
Hmm.
just said, and understand what's going to happen and what is it that you can do on a daily basis, and also understanding of how you can change your diet and all these things that are all in your control. Now, after the education, after all this, if you want to go to a doctor, like a naturopathic doctors are the amazing doctors that I personally have interviewed, so much knowledge, then you go and you can book an appointment with them and go that route. But before you go that route and spends thousands and thousands of dollars, you just learn about all this at a little like $10 a month or something like ridiculously low, and at least get yourself empowered through this journey, and then go to the next level of the right way is
Right.
testing, right? You get your tested, and then you can eat according to whatever is going on in your body, or you want to go to one of these doctors who put together the entire plan for you, whether it is herbs and supplements, or you want to go the HRT route, whichever way, right? So that's kind of what we are trying to do. We're walking women through the steps, baby steps, and then you go to the next level.
Right.
And that's what Nourish Talk is all about, is talking about holistic wellness, mind and body. If you take care of only your body and not take care of your mind, it's nothing going to work. You're still going to go cuckoo. So you need to take care of everything, right?
Right.
Everything
Well,
during
that's
this
why,
thing.
like my program, it talks about all the pieces, right? We talk
Hmm.
about all of the pieces because
Yes.
it is important. And
Mhm.
it's interesting. So a lot of women don't think about this until they just think they're going
Yes.
crazy until they hit the menopause things that are
Hmm.
happening. But so I feel like, diet and exercise, they could start when they're 20, but
Absolutely.
they might be too busy. But
Yeah.
I feel like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like some of what you're going to be taught, some of what the NourishDoc is valuable for every woman to start anytime. And then you have a better knowledge of how this thing works, this body of yours works. So when something does start to go a bit weird, you're more aware of it, or more and able to handle it or know where to go. Is this right? Am I saying this right?
Yeah, absolutely. See, we live in Western culture. We love to prepare ourselves, right? Think of us. I mean, you are a mom and you are like prepared to go to give your kid a lunchbox and go to the mom's meetings and then do this. Oh my God, it's like a competitive sport here, right? Being a mom is like, oh my
Who's the
God.
best mom?
Yeah, who is the best mom? Who's this? So we are preparing, like, I went through that and I'm like, oh my God, I can't compete. But think about it. We never focus on what's going to happen to us. We never pay attention. So that's exactly the whole idea, is that you just be prepared. What's going to happen? The way we love to prepare ourselves on all the checklists, every single thing in today's day and age is, okay, I'm marking all my checklist. Okay, right? In this case, there's no checklist. There's nothing to mark. I'm completely like, oh my God, I have no idea. Can you imagine our
Right. This is one of
personality
my
when this?
pet peeves.
Yeah.
That's why I started my program. That's why I started the podcast, because one of my pet peeves is, I heard this stat. Well, besides, there was a lot of reasons that I started it, but heard this stat that when you asked women about, and I don't even remember where I heard it, about what was the most important things, they were after the pets. There was their husband, their kids, their pets, and then they were at the bottom. Even if I'm like, what? No, upside down, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of those other things.
Yes.
And I say it over and over, and people go, yeah, Heather, I know. But somehow I got to say it in a way that it sinks in and they know it as well as know it. You know what I mean? And like for you, I mean, you had to leave your job, right? You couldn't even do your job because you had to figure out how to take care of yourself.
Yeah, I had to take breaks. That was
Yeah.
the thing, right? So if I can't function, if I can't, if I'm having issues sleeping at night, and during the meetings I'm sweating like profusely in like a 30-degree Fahrenheit outside, and I'm like, something is wrong. I never sweat, things like that, right? It
Yeah.
makes you wonder what the heck is, something is wrong, and you need to pause and take a break and check yourself. So it happens. Different things happen to different women. In my case, it was all these physical symptoms that happened, and I needed to pause and pay attention. I needed to slow down. That's what my body was telling me, that I cannot work 24/7. I wanted to work. I'm still working, but I need to put sort of like an hours of work, and rest is me time or whatever, right?
Right.
And
I think that's healthy in so many ways. Right.
And yeah, absolutely. And I think women's bodies are not designed to take so much stress in life the way we are now taking so much stress. And you can see the fertility has gone down, right? So many things, issues, chronic conditions. We women have more osteoporosis, more dementia, more heart health issues, more diabetes, weight issues than men. That's the stats. If you look at the
Which
statistics.
is funny because I feel like everybody is stressed, but maybe I feel like women take it more personally than men,
Yes.
and that causes more stress for us. Like men can be stressed, I'm just generalizing, don't get upset, everybody. In general, men don't personalize it as much as we take it as like a personal responsibility of everything and everyone. And that causes that uptick in the cortisol and the stress and all the things that are going to mess you up, right? It's funny.
Yeah.
I once met a woman who had zero. She didn't have a single perimenopause or menopause symptom, and I thought she was in like some kind of strange human being. But you know why? Because you'll know she was living with Patabi Joyce at the time, who was the founder of Ashtanga yoga, and she was living in the ashram, and she was doing
Yeah.
yoga and doing the yogi diet every single day. Now, I'm not saying you
Yeah.
have to run off to an ashram, but it just shows you that contrast of our life versus, well,
Hmm.
not saying that she wasn't stressed, but feel like stress is different in an ashram. It's like she sailed through it. Even she sailed through her pregnancy as well. She was fine. She's like, yeah, I had a baby, big deal. So it's become normalized to have this. It's almost like a badge of honor to talk about how stressed you are. So how do we shift that narrative?
I think the thing is we all want to achieve a lot in our lifetime. Our parents didn't have even one third or even 10% of the opportunity that we have been blessed, our generation. So I think these are all the things that you feel, oh my God, you can do so much in life. And so we are pushing ourselves,
We want to
all of
do all
us.
of it.
We want to experience that entire life in totality, in the sense. So that causes a lot of stress because you want to achieve so many things, and you have to work very, very hard to it. Nothing comes easy. So it's a lot of things. But to make a point, women still need to pay attention, to their perimenopause journey, and they need to adjust their lifestyle to what works for them, and maybe reinvent and rediscover themselves during this time, and take care of themselves so that they don't end up in memory homes and assisted living, right? Because that
Right.
is the data. That is the data right now.
And recognizing that you might have to make those shifts. So you're talking about, the super mom. If
Hmm.
you're hitting perimenopause and you're still the super mom,
Hmm.
then you're probably going to have to cut back on something, right? Like, so what do you find? Okay, here's a couple ideas. So, what do you find is the most common thing that women shortchange themselves on, which affects their perimenopause journey? And I don't
they
know.
just they just don't take care of themselves. Like, they won't exercise, right? They won't eat. They would eat in a very hurry, like, not pay attention to the meals, what they're eating, the time they take, all those things, right? I mean, I'm guilty of that too. My lunch used to be like 5 minutes gulping down, and then, oh, I have to run to another meeting. Most of us don't even bother about lunch. We don't even pay attention to breakfast and lunch, which is so wrong. um,
Right.
right? And the dinner, if you're taking it as an example, if you're eating it later, then all that food is still in your tummy, and we're complaining about bloating and weight gain and all those things. So I think it's the lifestyle. I don't want to talk about one particular thing what women are not. It's the lifestyle that they're they're leading is not is so against their bodies and the nature. it,
It's
it
almost
is
like this has to be a movement, right? This has to be
mm,
a protest against current circumstances. Because if you imagine, so your average mom says, or your average person going through perimenopause, if she's not a mom, she's like, well, that sounds great, Amita.
yeah.
But you know what? I got bills to pay.
I know, I know. What can you do? I mean, seriously. But they can
So
take a moment. They can still change their lifestyle. I am the same way. I had to work. I had to pay my bills. But hey, every single day I started changing my habits slowly, slowly.
so
I
you didn't
started.
go all at once. You just started
No, you
like,
cannot. You cannot. And you think if HRT is going to fix your problems? Yeah, I'm not saying don't do HRT, but still, if you don't take care of your overall, all the things that we are talking about, the holistic lifestyle, still, you're still going to have problems.
right.
So
I
it
think
doesn't
about,
matter.
yeah, I think about how many, like this new drug that they have for diabetes that now people
Yeah.
are taking for weight loss. When I think about that, and I understand that for some people it's the best option. Like I understand all of that, but when I think about it, like on a big picture scale, I think about, well, that is not teaching you to eat healthy. It's
Mm-hmm.
not teaching you what nourishment, like we talked
Yes.
about eating healthy, but for me, it's more like what nourishment does your body need to function properly?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to help you get control of some things and lose some weight, but let's try to figure out how this body is best cared for. Because if you have a car,
Mm-hmm.
I assume everybody gets their oil changed, they get their tires rotated,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
they do all of the things. You take really good care of your car so it keeps running. This thing is my car. It takes me
Yes.
everywhere. And I want to make sure that it keeps running properly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
Yes.
have a osteoporosis, or which is interesting because I did break my wrists last year, and they said, oh, they don't call it osteopenia anymore. Apparently, they say you have early bone density loss.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We all start losing bone density. The bone density starts going down. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah,
You know?
and it's interesting when you have conversations with your doctor. So I do have conversations with my doctor. I find that they are
Mm-hmm.
almost they're as well overwhelmed as everyone else.
Yes. Yes.
So they don't necessarily like we are used to treating them as the place where the knowledge is, which
Mm-hmm.
is why I think NourishDoc will be useful, because we use them as a place where the knowledge is. But
Yeah.
I know that because I was interested in it,
Mm-hmm.
I actually have more information than my doctor on menopause and the studies, and what studies
Yeah.
they have protocols they follow because of outdated studies. I'm like, well, that
Yes.
study's outdated. Check this one, this one, this one. So, and how does the information get into your NourishDoc platform? Like,
No. So
what kind of information is there?
everything you can think about. What we've done is, based on the symptoms, we have different experts from all over the world who are giving the information. Everything is all evidence based, and so that's how the information is going to be given to delivered to the users. These are all experts talking, not us. And yeah, so it's all basically experts, different type of experts. It's not just one OBGYN. It could be a naturopathic doctor, could be a hypnotherapist, could be an aromatherapist, an acupressure, a CBD, you name it, right? There's so many different tools that are available for women, which women have no clue. The only thing is, it's not just a single pill that you can take and all your problems will go away. Unfortunately, menopause, perimenopause is not like that. Your relationships could be, going for a toss because you have low libido and you're not communicating with your partner that what is going on in your body. I'm just giving
Right.
an example.
Yeah,
It's a true problem.
it is a
60
problem. Nobody talks about it.
Nobody wants to talk about it, but the fact is, the divorce 60% of the divorces that are happening in US and UK are happening to women during this age group. And yeah, and so many men have interviewed me. They say, oh my god, I wish I know. Do you have anything for men that I can help my partner, that we are going through a smooth conversation and the communication during this phase? I had no clue. So it's a society issue. It's much more than just a hot flash. It's overall your relationship, your community, all those things are going to get impacted. Your family is going to get impacted, right?
I mean, your mood can take a right turn for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
I remember when it happened to me. Luckily, I'd been meditating for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
so I knew that the crazy woman in my head was not really me. And luckily, my husband was smart enough to not talk to me. He just saw what happened. I kicked a laundry basket across the room, which is very not in character. And he looked at it and he just said, "Oh, I'm going to go to bed." And because there's no way when that's happening to have a productive conversation. But if I hadn't recognized
Yeah.
that was something unusual happening, and if he hadn't recognized that was something unusual happening, I'm convinced that menopause causes most of the divorces. Actually, I know it's
Mm-hmm.
not studied, but I think that's
Yes.
what it is. Because the woman is struggling with something she doesn't understand, and she
Mm-hmm.
suddenly changes, and her moods can be a bit wacky. And
Yeah.
he's over there going, "Who's this crazy person that I married? And where's the other lady that used to be here?"
Yeah.
So you need to develop a platform for men too.
No, I think men are the missing puzzle. They need to be they need to be educated at the same time. But
Yeah,
no, the other thing that happens is, think about it, right? You are a 40, 45-year-old, 50-year-old. Okay, let's just around that stage. And you have kids, and by the time the kids are teenagers, yeah, right? Now the kids have gone away from school. I mean, from your home to college. So kids are in college. Here you are with your mood swings up and down. You're empty nester. You're behaving like whatever, and then suddenly your relationship is obviously going to need a new definition. And your husband or partner does not understand what's going on in your, nobody understands. You don't yourself don't understand what the heck is happening, and what is going to happen, right?
Right. I mean, it's hard enough dealing with, depending on the woman, dealing with empty nest. And
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what happens now, because I know women are starting to have babies even later. Like I know
Yes.
some 40-year-olds who are having babies.
Hmm.
So when they start to hit this, their children are still going to be at home.
So there'll be tantrums, teenage tantrums, and the mom tantrum.
Exactly. That's just a recipe for disaster right there.
Yeah, I think it'll be complete disaster. In our generation, I think we had kids or younger. I had kids very young, so it was okay. So now, okay, the kids are out of the house, so I could take care of myself. But if you, as a mom, if you have to take care of yourself and you're going through many perimenopause, menopause, and the kids are having their own issues,
Right.
oh my God, it'd be war zone at home.
Yeah. Which is why I'm assuming there's like psychotherapists in the NourishDoc.
Yeah, absolutely.
Relationship therapists.
You
I
need
like that.
all of that.
I like the hypnotherapist because, I'm a big fan of hypnotherapy to
Yeah.
help with the subconscious brain. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. So your app should be out, because this is going to, we'll say it's March right now. So your app is out. No.
Yeah, I hope so. We are working very hard to get
Right. I
everything
know.
out. Right now, like I said, the content is given by experts, and the different type of experts would be coming and talking, different issues that we're talking about, and the app should be out by March timeframe, and that's the goal. And the
Right.
intention is really to educate and empower the women, that they need to pay attention beyond the reproductive years, right? That
Right.
really is, and going until they end. I'm
Right.
not saying that we are taking care of the seniors. Our age group is really from 35 to 65. Before they technically are called seniors in Western society, but they
Right.
can continue to be with us if they want to.
Well,
But
and it's helpful to stay, if you're like, oh, now I've got this weird thing happening, and you
yeah,
can say, why is this patch of skin dry?
yeah,
Why am I
exactly.
itchy?
And you can come to a platform which is trusted, and if you have a question, hopefully you can find answer, or you can consult with someone real quick. You're not waiting until, oh my God, the only person who you can go to is OBGYN, and guess what, they're not taught about perimenopause at medical schools.
No, they might,
They are
yeah,
not. And
not
they have
enough
7
anyway.
minutes for you. That's it. What are they
Yeah.
going to tell you in 7 minutes? They are themselves stressed out. And
Yeah.
so here is, you have all kind of experts that you can think of, or you have, and just at least be prepared and empowered. That really is the intention.
Amazing. It sounds awesome. I wish you'd had it like 15 years ago.
Oh, I was not going through that time.
Here I am with the hot flash. I'm taking off my sweater right now. It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
So what's the website is?
www.nourishdoc.com, and people can
Beautiful.
go now, whenever, and then if they want to be in contact with us, they can fill a form. But we will be announcing when the app is out everywhere on our social emails. We'll be doing a lot of podcasts. All those things will happen at that time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. Awesome. That's amazing. And don't worry, folks, that's going to go into the show notes so that we won't lose track of that. And I always give the guest the final word of wisdom. So do you have a final thought for the guests, for the listeners?
Trust in yourself, invest in yourself, right? That's my final wisdom. Trust yourself and invest in yourself, and self-care. Don't let anyone tell you your self-worth is down. You are worth it.
Right. So true. So true.
Mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Amita, for sharing and
Thank
talking
you.
about this, one of my favorite topics. I love talking about it. Friends in podcast land, even if they haven't told you yet, I'm sure you know people who could use this podcast. Send it over to them. Share, like, and subscribe, and send us a comment. Tell us your favorite menopause symptom. Take care, my friends. I will see you next time. Thank you. Hello, my friend. I hope you enjoyed that episode. And if you found it useful and you're like me and you want to help others, please share this, comment, like, subscribe, all of those things that will help this podcast to be found by more people. And if you found it useful, there's a chance that someone else will find it useful as well. If you ever have any questions, I am here to answer your questions. I would love to help you. My direct email address is info@heatherstewart.coach. You can also find me at heatherstewart.coach. And if you go over to my website, you will find copies of the podcast. You'll find the link to my Instagram and my Facebook. And I do have a personal request because I do want to help as many people as I can with these podcasts. So if you could give me a review, and my friend, I would love if you gave me a good one. If you could share this, if you could send it out into the world, I would truly appreciate it. I hope that you have an amazing day. I hope that you are finding your way back to wellness by getting back to me. Take care, my friend. Be well, and we will see you again next time.